Hello, very warm welcome to Granada Reports.
Hello, on the programme this evening.
A direct appeal from Nicola's family. Stop all the speculation and rumours about her private life. They just want the focus to be on finding her.
Adam was scammed out of thousands. Tonight he tells about the impact on his life and how you can protect yourself.
This was more than 20 years ago, but some fans with wheelchairs are still missing out on some of the biggest games in football.
Meet Kaylee Coleman, the young actor whose first film is up for 4 BAFTAs and an Oscar.
And we have our first named storm of the season. But how will it affect us here in the northwest? All the details will be coming up later on.
First, please stop speculating about Nicola's private life. That is the message from her family tonight, 3 weeks after she went missing.
There's been widespread criticism of Lancashire police for revealing personal details about her life. They say they acted to try to end the barrage of theories on social media.
Well, Nicola's family are now pleading with people to stop adding to their distress. And they say it's appalling that people are trying to sell stories about Nicola to newspapers. Let's get the latest now from Emma Sweeney. Emma.
Well, it is three weeks almost now since Nicola Bulley went missing here at St Michael's on Wyre in a story that has really captured the public's attention. This, of course, has been on local news, it's been on national news, and it has been all over social media. But tonight, Nicola's family say they are worried that the public focus has become distracted from finding the mother of two. And instead, people are becoming more bothered about speculation and rumours around the mother of two's private life with her partner Paul. Now, partly this is the reason why yesterday Lancashire police took a very unusual step. They released personal details about Nicola because they said they wanted to counter some of this misinformation. So they talked about the fact that Nicola has some ongoing issues around the menopause, and then that has then caused alcohol issues to resurface, and both of those things mean that Nicola is considered as a high-risk missing person. Now, her family say, of course, she wouldn't have wanted this information to be out there, but they say there are people who have been speculating and making threats to sell stories about Nicola. This, they say, is appalling and it needs to stop. The police, they say, knows the truth about Nikki, and now the public need to focus on finding her.
Yeah, Emma, there was some criticism of the police for disclosing those details of Nicola's private life yesterday evening, wasn't there?
Well, that's right, Gamal. Now, as I say, the police felt they needed to give some of that information out there to counter some of the misinformation, but nonetheless they have received quite a backlash from some MPs and also from some charities. Now, we know in the last 10 minutes that the police in Lancashire have referred themselves to the Independent Office for Police Conduct, and earlier on today they released a statement in which they said their sole aim has always been to try and find Nicola and to bring her home and to support her family through what is a very traumatic time.
So, Emma, let's get back to the main issue here, because this statement from Nicola's family does have a direct appeal to her in it.
Yeah, that's right, Lucy. Now, this statement said Nicola is a wonderful daughter, she's a wonderful partner, mother and sister, and that she is missed dearly. And then it went on to say, Nikki, if you are reading this, know that you are loved so very much and your little girls want a cuddle. We all need you home. You can reach out to us or you can contact missing people. Don't be scared. We all love you so very much.
OK, Emma, thank you.
Let's hope she does hear that appeal. Well, moving on to other news tonight, 2 teenagers, a boy and a girl, have appeared in court charged with the murder of transgender teenager Brianna Ghey.
Brianna was found with stab wounds in Warrington.
Victoria Grimes was at the hearing for us.
Well, the teenagers, a boy and a girl who can't be named for legal reasons, both appeared via separate video links here earlier today. They spoke only to confirm their names and their dates of birth. They were charged on Wednesday following the death of 16-year-old Brianna Ghey. She was found with fatal stab wounds on a path in Culcheth Linear Park on Saturday. Now, the parents of the girl and the mother of the boy were present in court today. Both mothers appeared visibly upset. The teenagers have been remanded into youth detention ahead of a hearing in May, and a trial date has been set for the 10th of July and is expected to last around 3 weeks. Our vigils have been held across the country to remember Brianna, who was transgender, including one in Manchester by candlelight last night. Now, police have given us a statement today. They said they've been inundated with pieces of information from members of the public wanting to assist with the investigation. They also said that Brianna's family have been overwhelmed with the messages of support and compassion that they've received from across the country and beyond.
Victoria Grimes reporting there. Well, next, an inquest has recorded a verdict of accidental death following the drowning of a man who'd been paddleboarding on Ullswater last summer.
Yeah, 26-year-old Olamide Giwa from Rochdale fell into the water and didn't resurface. It sparked a large search operation by the emergency services, and he was found 4 days later.
His family is urging others to take extra care when going onto the water. Tim Backshall reports.
It was the first time that Olamide Giwa had been to the Lake District, but it was a visit that was to end in tragedy. He and his girlfriend decided to go to Ullswater last August and brought their own paddleboard, but with only one life jacket between them. Mr. Giwa and his friends set off paddleboarding close to Area Force, but quickly got into difficulties when the water became choppy. They both fell into the water, but Mr. Giwa didn't resurface. The inquest heard that he wasn't wearing a life jacket or buoyancy aid and didn't know how to swim. A large search began to try to find him. Divers located his body 4 days later. Recording a verdict of accidental death due to drowning, the coroner said the lakes can be a delight, but as this case illustrated, they could also be dangerous. Mr. Giwa's family are desperate to stop other tragedies like this from happening.
I will miss him forever. Forever. Always in my heart. I love him sincerely.
They want others to learn from their son's death by being more safety conscious around water.
Be very careful. Be conscious. If you want to go inside the lake, go wear the life jacket. He was not on life jacket.
Risking your life and putting your life into danger, it harms the family. My family now, we are not okay since this incident happened.
The coroner said one positive would be to remind people of the risks that going into the lakes can pose. Tim Backshall, ITV News, Ullswater.
Well, here's another warning for us tonight. We could all be just a few clicks away from a scammer trying to empty our bank accounts.
Yes, the owner of a Woodland coffee shop near Hale says he was conned out of £32,000, which left him unable to afford to even buy paper cups for his business.
Adam Taylor was using an online banking service, and he's warning people to check what kind of protection they're being offered. Leisha McNally reports.
Cutting back on his new business was never part of the plan. Adam Taylor set up this Woodland community hub and cafe to help people enjoy the great outdoors. But plans to improve and expand are now on hold after scammers stole £32,000 from his bank account.
Basically, we were scammed of all our money. So we worked all the way through lockdown, trying to build the business up, and now we're back to square one again. So it's been very difficult to build it to a point where it is now, and now we're just starting all over again, to be honest.
Adam fell victim to a sophisticated scam known as number spoofing, where criminals can make it appear that messages are coming from a reputable source. In this case, they pretended to be from his online banking service, Tide.
And then when I checked the number which I was meant to call, there was a website. Obviously, that website was a fake website. So I called the number up, and I spoke to somebody on the other side who acted as a Tide banking member, and they were able to send me codes through the messaging service in the app. Yeah, there's very desperate people, and if they've got children, I don't know how they look at them, to be honest. Very low very low people.
Experts in cybercrime warn that online fraud is growing increasingly sophisticated and say we all have to stay vigilant because different platforms will offer different levels of protection.
There is a fraud out there for everybody. That's what we all have to be conscious of. Some of the banks do actually recompense victims of crime. But again, the chances of being recompensed are increased if you just take that little bit of extra time and don't feel pressurised into making a decision there and then.
But Adam still feels that Tide could and should have done more.
I never send that kind of amount of money to anybody. That should have been a flag straight away. As soon as that money left my account, they should have frozen it straight away and then said, hang on, are you really meaning to send this money somewhere? Call me up, actually speak to me. There was nobody at the bank to talk to when it happened. They took 9 days to actually call me up and let me know what's going on. So 9 days of worrying where my money was and what was happening.
Tide told us they're very sorry for what happened to Adam and agree they should have phoned him more quickly to avoid adding to his stress. They said that fraud prevention and security are their utmost priority, and they make clear to members that Tide would never call them or ask them to transfer money. Reminders they also make clear on their website. A spokesperson added, as soon as we were informed of the fraud, we acted very quickly and we were able to recover more than £13,000 for Mr. Taylor. We have looked into the matter thoroughly and believe we did all we could to retrieve as much of the money as we could as quickly as possible. Back at Into the Wild, Adam says he'll do everything he can to keep the business going. He just wants to stop others being burned by cyber criminals. Leisha McNally, ITV News.
Yeah, stark warning for all of us there. Still to come tonight.
Remember the name Kaylee Coleman. Her first film's been nominated for 4 BAFTAs and an Oscar.
Storm of the season, Otto, a deep low pressure system named by the Danish Meteorological Institute, will be sweeping eastwards across the far north of the UK during the early hours of tomorrow. The strongest winds will be reserved for Scotland, but here in the northwest it will be a very unsettled day, all the details of which I'll bring you a little later on.
Yeah, Otto sounds like trouble, but Jo, as ever, smiles her way through it all. Marvellous. OK, let's take a look now at the ITV News with Mary.
Coming up on the programme, a major escalation in strike action by nurses. For the first time, NHS staff from emergency and intensive care units announced that they will join the walkouts. We will have all the details. Also ahead, the family of Nicola Bulley plead with the public to stop speculating about her private life, urging the focus to return to finding the missing mother of 2. How soaring gas and oil prices help the owners of British Gas make a record profit of £3.3 billion. We'll look at calls for the firm to pay more tax. Plus, the haunting new footage of the Titanic wreckage, seen in full for the very first time. Do join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
UEFA does say it's changing access for fans in wheelchairs to games in Europe after this week's damning report into the chaos at last year's Champions League final.
For the game tonight, though, it is too late. Claire Hannah has this report.
Being a disabled football fan is hard anyway, you know. If you're travelling away and you're travelling in Europe, they don't really like you very much to begin with. So being disabled just sort of adds a little layer of not niceness about that as well.
Chaz Banks is the secretary of Manchester United Disabled Supporters Association. He's been fighting for better access for fans in wheelchairs since he became disabled in 1996. At Old Trafford, there are now more than 300 wheelchair bays, but in Europe, it's a different story.
In Europe, it's like the Stone Age. It's like you're going back in time. You get honourable exceptions. Germany's pretty good. It's an occasional stadium here and there. But Spain, France, a lot of these places you go to, you're just an afterthought.
This was the view at the Champions League final in Barcelona in 1999, and Chaz says 24 years later, for the 5 fans there tonight, nothing has changed.
The number is just the beginning. It's the fact they're in the wrong place, they're in the home end. What you can actually see is appalling. And on top of all that, they've got one disabled toilet and it's inside the gents' toilet. There is no ladies' toilet.
It's a similar story for Liverpool fans for their Champions League game at Real Madrid next month, but they have only been given 4 tickets for disabled fans, again with the home fans.
First of all, it's hard to say that's not discrimination against disabled football supporters to only have 9 wheelchair users having the opportunity to follow their team. And it's not difficult for football clubs to achieve this if there's a will. Here at Anfield we've got 263 wheelchair bays, and basically wheelchair users have got a choice anywhere in the stadium where they want to sit.
UEFA has given us a statement saying it is working to see what can be done to give disabled fans better provision across Europe in UEFA competitions. But after this week's report into the chaos at last year's Champions League final, it has been recommended UEFA does more.
It's very sad that it's taken something that almost resulted in a fatality for this to be taken seriously by UEFA.
You know, it's not just football, it's about inclusion, it's about decency.
In 2023, we should not be having a fight on about equality and fairness in terms of disability.
Claire Hannah, ITV News, Liverpool.
Blackburn rescued a 1-1 draw at West Brom to stay within a point of the Championship playoffs. A late Preston penalty held promotion-chasing Luton Town to a 1-1 draw at Deepdale. Blackpool lost, but Wigan are still unbeaten under new boss Sean Maloney after their 1-1 draw with Bristol City.
Getting that winning feeling. FOW, sponsors of the Granada Sport Report.
In Rugby League, Warrington will not appeal a 7-match ban handed to star signing Josh Maguire after the Australian used unacceptable language during their recent friendly with Lee. Without him, Warrington will kick off the new season against Leeds tonight. I've been catching up with the North West clubs ready to tackle Super League. The honour of kicking off the new season falls on a club who failed in the last. Second bottom of the table was not how Daryl Powell envisaged his first year as Warrington coach, so he wants to rebuild the bond between the team and the fans.
If they see that you care, then they're going to get behind you. So look, it's both sides, you know. And I want to give them something special. I want to stop opposition fans singing that, you know, it's always your year. That frustrates me more than anything, and that's what I would like to give as a gift to the Warrington fans, is a team that they can be really proud of.
The club they're all chasing aren't yet within sight. St Helens are in Australia to face Penrith for the World Club Challenge, having conquered Super League for the last 4 years.
Yeah, it's great motivation, a lot of respect, but the fact is that Wigan fans and Wigan people aren't happy. But there is a lot of admiration for the way Saints go about the business. They've earned all the credit that they get. But yeah, we're one of a pack that's trying to chase them down.
And the Challenge Cup holders have a new captain fulfilling his boyhood dream.
I've been lucky enough to be around some great leaders in my time, in Tom Lewis and Sean O'Loughlin and Andy Farrell before that. He was an outstanding leader as well, and the way he led the club with passion and pride is probably the sort of thing I'd like to do, being a Wigan lad.
His old boss is back after moving in next door. Adrian Lamb has brought Lee back to Super League. 3 times they've been here only to be relegated after a year. But armed with the favourite for this year's Man of Steel award, can the Leopards change their spots?
I think I've fallen in love with the town and all the fans. You know, they're a good bunch of people, and just to be named the favourite is, I think it gives me a bit of a confidence.
You've obviously coached Wigan in Super League before. Does this give you an opportunity to sort of prove your worth again?
Yeah, I love my time there. I was there as a player, obviously, and coaching in a Super League Grand Final there, and I've loved my time at Lee. Probably one of the best times of my life. You know, hoping to build this as we go along over the next 3 to 5 years. It's not just about coming up for 1 year.
Their first opponents are led by a Lee legend. Last year, Paul Rowley's Salford were surprise semi-finalists. But that wasn't the only reason Man of Steel Brodie Croft was hungry to sign a new 7-year contract.
The food in Manchester, some really great places to go to, and with a deal like this, hopefully there's a lot more places we can go to in the future. I wouldn't have signed a deal like this if I didn't believe in the group and what we're capable of.
It's always going to be tough and challenging, but that's the beauty and excitement of supporting a sports team like Salford, who build everything that they do as a city on pride and hard work and determination. And we'll just try and defeat the odds once again.
Beating the odds will mean beating St Helens if these clubs want to stop the bookies' favourites from keeping their favourite possession. Yeah, and we will have more on St Helens World Club Challenge match against Penrith Panthers in tomorrow's Granada Reports. But great to see Super League back again. I love it.
Yeah, it's a tough sport though, Chris. You used to play it.
Yeah, I got out of it when I was 16. I didn't fancy having these knocked out, but yeah,
No.
played at school
The old
level.
pearly whites.
I played at school. I was the one they stuck out on the wing out the way who barely ever touched the ball.
That was
but
lucky, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's where I would have liked to have been, out of the way. Much too rough. Chris, thank you.
Now, we love celebrating brand new Northwest talents here on Granada Reports. So we are delighted to say that an actor from Liverpool is starring in her debut film, After Sun.
Yeah, not only that, but this film is getting recognition on the award circuit already. It's already been nominated for 4 BAFTAs, no less, and 1 Oscar.
Pretty impressive stuff. Our entertainment correspondent, Caroline Whitmore, chatted to the star. So what name do we need to remember, Cal?
Kaylee Coleman, we need to remember your name. You have starred in your debut film called After Sun, and it's now been nominated for 4 BAFTAs and an Oscar. How did you get the part?
Well, it's quite crazy, actually. I went to a youth group called 20 Stories High, and they are based in Toxteth in Liverpool, and they help underprivileged young people going into the arts. And they sent me this email that said, feature film in Turkey. I was looking at it hey, this can't be real. And they asked if I was okay with intimacy and kissing, and I was just like, yep.
Fine.
So totally fine. I didn't tell my boyfriend that, though. Same thing.
Wow, wow, wow. Look who it is.
No, this is how you do it, mate. Oh, yeah. Whoa, you don't want to see that.
When I found out I got the role, it was a week later. I was flying out to Turkey. The flights are already booked. You're going to meet the young cast at Manchester, and then I remember telling my mum, and my mum was like, hey, listen, what? Wait, you're going to Turkey, bro? This is my first time. I'd never auditioned even for any TV or film roles before.
Everything okay at home?
What do you mean?
I mean, how are you and your mum getting along?
Yeah, okay, I guess.
It is about a father-daughter relationship set in the 90s. Her mum and dad had recently separated, so this is a one-on-one with her and her father.
The ending is almost like make your own mind up, isn't it?
You choose what you think happens at the end. I know what I think.
Yeah,
and
I know what I
know
think.
What you think. Yeah.
I think we think the same.
I think we do as well.
Yeah. You star in the film alongside Paul Mescal, who we know from Normal People. He won a BAFTA in 2021 for lead actor.
My mum and dad at home, I love you.
He's now up for a BAFTA and he's up for an Oscar. What was it like for you starring alongside him?
Oh, it was an absolute dream come true. What an incredible actor. One day I'd wish to work with him. And I remember when I met him, I was so nervous. I was fangirling like mad. I was trying to keep my composure. I think the BAFTA's in the bag. Now he's nominated for an Oscar. I'm unbelievably proud of him.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
As a child, I was just a little weirdo, so I used to do accents all the time, a couple of musicals with LHK Productions. They used to do musicals at the Epstein Theatre in Liverpool. Went to Mughal High School. I did a BTEC at Rare Studio, the School of Performing Arts in Liverpool.
We love it that this is your first TV interview about your first film. You're from Liverpool. Where can we watch it?
On Mubi. It is a streaming platform.
Kaylee Coleman, remember the name.
We will love these showbiz spots.
Yeah.
Get it? Spots.
Like
Did they
you
talk
did there.
about that? Loving the outfits as well.
One to watch for the future. It is BAFTAs this weekend, so could After Sun win? You must look out for that.
Yeah, we'll be looking out for it. Now, let's take a look at the weather with Joe.
Mom, wet wipes, toilet or bin?
Bin. Why?
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Thank you. Hello, a very good evening to you. Now, whilst the effects of Storm Otto tomorrow morning will chiefly be across Scotland, Northern England will have a very windy start to the day. And if you're travelling first thing on the region's higher routes, Transpennine, parts of the M6, just be aware it will be very gusty. Also, a little bit of rain around at first, brighter later on, and those winds easing down. A deep low pressure system named Storm Otto by the Danish Meteorological Institute will sweep eastwards during the day tomorrow, but behind it, further unsettled weather moving in for the rest of this week. It stays rather cloudy and damp, breezy too, but on the whole, fairly mild. Back to this evening, there will be some rain around, some of it rather heavy for the Lakeland Fells and the Pennines for a time, and then it eases off after midnight, leaving behind a residue of low clouds, some hill fog, and you'll probably notice those winds increasing in strength into the early hours of tomorrow morning, with more rain moving into the Isle of Man, Cumbria and North Lancashire by the end of the night. A mild one though, 7 or 8 Celsius, and a windy start to the day tomorrow for all of us. With the sun rising tomorrow at 7:27, it will set at 5:24 tomorrow evening. Travelling Transpennine tomorrow morning or perhaps north of Lancaster on the M6, just be aware, very gusty winds around and also some patchy rain, drizzle, not very good driving conditions, but things will improve gradually. Winds begin to ease down during tomorrow afternoon. It will remain breezy, but things will be brighter, drier, and there should be some sunshine for many of us during the day tomorrow. Quite mild as well, 12 or 13 Celsius. The rest of the week remaining rather cloudy, dull, damp, but mild on the whole. Enjoy your evening. Take care.
Cleaned up well.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
We want to leave you with some very good news. The arrival of rare tiger twins at Chester Zoo.
Yeah, we're pleased to report mum and cubs are doing well. They are Sumatran tigers, which is why this camera is at a safe distance. They might look like cuddly little kittens here, but they're hugely significant as there are only 350 of them in the wild, making them some of the world's rarest animals.
Yeah, experts have said their birth will help save the species from extinction.
Oh, I just want to take one home. They're so cute. Maybe not. That's it from us. Good night.
Bye-bye.